People are leaving Michigan, and it's not just some sort of clickbait. They are leaving. According to a recent study, 167,000 people have left Michigan for other states. Personally, I've helped hundreds of people buy and sell real estate all over the state of Michigan, so I see this regularly. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly why it's happening. A little side note, if you are one of those people who wanna make a move in the next 3 days or 3 years, click the link in the description and get a hold of me, because this is what I do. The first reason people are leaving Michigan is jobs, or the job market. If you didn't know, this is the Motor City, or it was the Motor City. But that's sort of the problem. A lot of Michigan depends on the automotive industry. One little change in it shakes up the whole state. Now, aside from the auto stuff, Michigan has a ton of low-wage jobs. Our income levels are actually 13% below the national average. 13%? That's low. Limbo low. That's probably why in 2022, Michigan lost more Gen Z residents than any other state. Bet we didn't get a trophy for that, even though we were number one. Number one at losing. Michigan is trying to change that though. Some of the world's largest tech companies, including Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, are all investing all throughout Michigan. So hopefully we're gonna see more jobs here in the future. Tech City. Actually, a lot of the people that I help buy and sell houses in Metro Detroit work for tech companies, so I do see that happening. The next reason people are leaving Michigan is the tax situation. This is a touchy subject. Michigan's income taxes and property taxes are higher than a lot of other states, so tons of people are relocating just for that reason alone. You got people going to places like Florida, Texas, so they can pay less and have more, because it's cheaper there. And in a lot of ways, nicer. Aside from the taxes being high here, they're super confusing. I've made some very long and very boring videos all about property taxes in Michigan, so if you're looking for like something to put you to sleep at night, check out some of those videos. Basically, the taxes that you see listed on any property in Michigan are not what you would actually pay if you lived here. A lot of times, they're a lot higher. So people buy these houses and they're like, whoa, this is more than I expected. I'm out. So unless you're made out of cash, that might change what you can afford completely. Taxes are one of the very first things that I go over with my clients because they're confusing. I sit on the tax assessor's board for my city, and every year we have tons of people that come in because their taxes went up and the whole situation wasn't explained to them by their real estate agent. So if you and I ever work together, don't say I didn't tell you, because I'm telling you right now, and we will talk about it again for sure. The next reason people are leaving Michigan is the lack of public transportation. Now, I know in a lot of the videos that I make about the city of Detroit, I talk about the lack of transportation, but really, it's a lack of public transportation everywhere in Metro Detroit. The public transportation here just sucks. We have a saying here in Michigan, short or far, you'll need a car. It's not really a saying here, but I feel like it should be, you know? Get it on a shirt. Short or far, you'll need a car. Michigan. Michigan's limited public transportation issues, especially outside of the city of Detroit, make commuting crazy hard for anyone. Well, anyone without a car. That alone pushes people to places like Chicago and New York. Have you ever ridden on the Chicago L? It's fantastic. You can get from the suburbs to downtown and back again in no time. Nothing like that here. Now, aside from getting to and from work, it's just harder to do anything if you don't have a car. Like go out on a date night, have a few cocktails. Your options are Uber or taxi. I'm not even sure if we have taxis anymore. I should have done a little more investigation. So again, if you live in Michigan, you have to have a car, so it's going to increase the cost for you to live here. Now that's totally cool if you are a car person like me. Like I love cars. If you don't want to own a car, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to. The next reason people are leaving the state of Michigan is the high cost of living. A lot of websites say that we have low cost of living, but that's not always true when we're looking at the Metro Detroit area. The average monthly cost of living for a family of 4 in Michigan is about $4,200, and that's without rent or a mortgage. But for a single person, it's about $1,200, and that's without rent or mortgage thrown into the mix. And I can't stress this enough, it is more expensive to live in Metro Detroit than a lot of the other zones of the state. Metro Detroit was actually just named the most overvalued real estate market in the country. Don't get a name like that without a good reason. High prices combined with high property taxes make Michigan less attractive to middle-income families. The good news is if you have to move further away from your job to save money on a house, the drive is going to be a breeze. Even the worst Michigan traffic is not that bad. Every time I say that, I get a bunch of comments about how traffic's terrible here. Obviously, none of you have been to California and New York because traffic there is nothing like the traffic here, ever. It's not that bad. And again, if you're a car person, you just get to sit in your car longer. I love it. The next reason people are leaving the state of Michigan is the schools. Michigan's public education system has faced funding issues over the years, and that means lower school quality in some areas. Not all areas, some areas. US News ranked the top 10 public schools in the state of Michigan, and half of them are in wealthy communities like Troy, Bloomfield, and Northville. And so if you want a super high ranking school in a super affordable area, Michigan might not be the spot for you. Now, if you live in Michigan and know of an affordable area with amazing schools, let me know in the comments. I'm sure everybody would like to hear it. A lot of them like fly under the radar. Nobody knows about it until somebody actually says something. The next reason people are leaving the state of Michigan is the crime. High crime rates in certain cities make people think the whole state is bad. It's not. I can tell you it's not. Yeah, we do have crime in super densely populated areas, but that's normal for every state. I get a lot of comments from people who say people must be leaving because of the high crime in Detroit. Everybody's leaving Michigan because of Detroit. It can't be the case. Overall, Michigan actually gets a B+ ranking from the city crimegrade.com. So we're pretty safe, but anytime you look at any of the super densely populated areas, you're going to have higher crime. So you look at Detroit, Flint, even Ann Arbor, higher crime in the densely populated areas. Even Lansing has high crime. The next reason people are leaving the state of Michigan is the weather. Mainly in the winter. We hear a lot of complaints about our summers, but the real kicker is how unpredictable our weather is, especially for anyone who wants to retire. I'm reading this on a day where it is 78 degrees outside, and for the rest of the week, it is going to be in the low 50s. That's a 30-degree swing in one day. The winters also lead to increased home maintenance and heating costs. So again, if you're planning on retiring, I don't want to heat this house all the time, so they move to Florida. It seems like that's where everybody wants to move to. The next reason people are leaving the state of Michigan is the home prices. Right now, Michigan real estate is selling at an all-time high, and a bunch of cities in Metro Detroit have had price jumps of 30 to 40% in the past 5 years. So in 5 years, some places have gained 40% in value. That's nuts. Because of that, a lot of people have decided to cash in on the crazy pricing and check out of the state completely, especially if they work remote and they don't have any ties to the state. They don't have any family or friends really here. They just hang out on their computers. Like, why am I here in the winter? Like, why don't I take this money, this equity in my home, and go somewhere else? That's actually overwhelmingly the #1 reason I see people leaving the state of Michigan. Now, if you want to see what cities have gained the most value over the past 5 years, I made an entire video breaking down the top 10. You can check that video out here, and I'll see you there.